The galaxy had always known fear. Not the kind born from the unknown, but the kind forged by power. And in that vast sea of stars, one power reigned supreme, an alien empire so vast, its reach spanned hundreds of worlds. At the heart of this empire sat their king, a ruler whose arrogance was as large as his dominion. He believed in conquest, in dominance, and in the eternal superiority of his species over all others. In his eyes, humanity was just another species to be subjugated, another race of soft-bodied creatures that had crawled too far from their small blue world. Before the Galactic Council, his voice boomed as he made his demands, a cruel smile twisting his alien features. "Submit to the Empire or face annihilation," he declared. He relished the challenge, knowing that, time after time, species had bowed to him. Why would humans be any different? Across the council chamber, the human delegation stood silent, their leader, a seasoned diplomat, meeting the alien king's gaze. There was no panic, no desperation. Only a firm, quiet resolve. "We will not submit," the human replied, his voice even. The king chuckled, leaning back in his throne-like seat, a twisted grin spreading across his face. The other council members murmured. Was this some kind of joke? Did these humans not understand what they were facing? The king stood, his decision final. "Then war it is." The words echoed throughout the chamber, sealing the fate of millions. The human representatives did not flinch. Without further exchange, they left, their decision made. War had been declared, but if the king expected humanity to roll over, he was about to learn a hard lesson. Humanity was not new to war, and they were certainly not new to survival. Back on Earth, preparations began immediately. The alien empire, in its arrogance, believed that the humans were weak, barely a threat worth considering. But humanity had something the empire lacked: determination and the ability to adapt under pressure. They had faced threats before and had always come out stronger. Now, they faced their biggest challenge yet. The alien king, back in his palace, laughed at the prospect of the upcoming conflict. To him, it was little more than a sport. He had crushed dozens of species beneath his feet, and humans were no different. His fleets would descend upon Earth, and soon, the galaxy would forget about humanity entirely. But the humans? They had other plans. In secret, their fleets mobilized. The ships, smaller than the behemoths of the alien armada, were designed with purpose, speed, precision, and the element of surprise. Human tacticians had studied their enemies well. They knew the alien empire relied on brute force, overwhelming their opponents with sheer numbers and firepower. But humans didn't play that game. What the alien king didn't know was that Earth had always been a world of struggle, and the humans who lived there had evolved to meet every challenge thrown at them. The king's smug laughter would soon be silenced. The first alien fleet arrived in human space with overwhelming confidence. Their massive warships, bristling with weapons, cast dark shadows over the human colonies. In their arrogance, they believed this would be an easy victory, a mere display of force to bring humanity to its knees. But they had underestimated their opponent. As the alien fleet advanced, they encountered nothing but empty space and silence. They scanned the area, expecting resistance, but their sensors found no large fleets, no defenses worthy of mention. And that was when the first human strike hit, a tactical precision strike from small, swift vessels hidden in the asteroid fields. A single volley of railgun fire tore through the armor of one of the lead alien ships. It exploded in a ball of flame and debris before anyone could react. Panic spread through the alien ranks. They scrambled to regroup, to respond to an enemy that seemed invisible, yet deadly. Wave after wave of human attacks followed, each strike more precise, each one crippling another alien ship. It wasn't just brute force, humanity fought with surgical precision, exploiting every weakness in the alien fleet's tactics. The aliens had expected a straightforward fight, but they found themselves fighting shadows. Human vessels moved too fast, struck too hard, and then disappeared before the alien weapons could lock on. Guerrilla warfare in the depths of space, something the aliens had never encountered. Their technology, designed for dominance and overpowering force, was suddenly ineffective. The king's generals, watching from a distance, began to feel the first stirrings of doubt. This wasn't how the war was supposed to go. They had expected human ships to crumble under their superior firepower, yet here they were, losing ships faster than they could track. And then came the first reports of alien vessels being boarded by human strike teams. Swift, brutal engagements that left alien soldiers dead before they could even raise their weapons. The alien commanders tried to adapt, but it was clear, humanity was always one step ahead. Every attempt to counter their tactics was met with an unforeseen move, another trap. The humans didn't have the numbers, but they had the advantage of strategy and flexibility. Back on the human front lines, soldiers fought with a determination that surprised even their commanders. They knew what was at stake, not just their survival, but their right to exist without bending to an alien ruler. They fought for their homes, their families, and the very idea of freedom. And with every alien ship that fell, with every victory, morale surged. Meanwhile, the alien forces, once confident and unstoppable, found themselves questioning the war. The stories of human bravery and tactical brilliance spread like wildfire. Alien soldiers who had once mocked the idea of fighting humans now looked over their shoulders, wary of an enemy they couldn't predict. The king, far from the battlefront, still held on to his arrogance, refusing to believe that this small, insignificant species could challenge his empire. But those on the ground knew better. The humans were not just resisting, they were fighting back, and they were winning in ways no one could have imagined. The war was no longer about dominance, it was about survival. And humanity was proving that they had everything it took to survive. As the war dragged on, the alien empire realized their mistake. What began as a sure conquest had turned into a nightmare. Humanity wasn't just resisting, they were adapting, evolving with each battle. The aliens had underestimated their creativity, their relentless drive to survive. With every engagement, human forces grew bolder, more unpredictable. The turning point came at the Battle of Shiris, 9, a key human colony world the aliens targeted for annihilation. The alien fleet, massive and well-armed, approached with full confidence. The plan was simple: bombard the surface until the humans either surrendered or were destroyed. But when they arrived, they were met with fierce orbital defenses, far stronger than anticipated. Humanity had learned from the earlier battles. They had fortified Shiris, 9 with layers of shields, cannons, and a fleet designed to strike quickly. The first wave of alien ships was caught off guard by the coordinated assault. Human forces, using their advanced drones and precision strikes, tore through the alien formation. The aliens, used to overwhelming their enemies with numbers, found their fleets shattered, their tactics useless. In the chaos of battle, human snipers on the ground took out key alien officers with precision that left the enemy disoriented. They weren't just fighting in space, this was total war on every front. For the first time, alien commanders began to fear that they might actually lose. Word spread throughout the alien empire: humans had decimated a flagship, and the mighty fleets of the king were no longer untouchable. The alien generals who had once mocked the humans now struggled to maintain control of their troops. Some of them whispered of retreat, of regrouping, but the king would hear none of it. Meanwhile, human scientists worked tirelessly, pushing the limits of their technology. New innovations emerged, weapons that could bypass alien defenses, tools that turned the tide in their favor. EMP bombs knocked out entire alien ships, rendering them helpless against human boarding teams. Railguns, once seen as primitive by alien standards, now pierced through the strongest armor with deadly precision. The humans fought like a cornered animal, fiercely, unpredictably. They had nothing to lose and everything to gain, while the aliens realized their empire could fall if they didn't crush the humans soon. Panic set in among the alien ranks, as more and more fleets were sent, only to be whittled down by human tactics. For every ship they lost, humanity struck back twice as hard. Back on the alien homeworld, dissent grew. Whispers among the nobles and military leaders questioned the king's strategy. This war was supposed to be a display of power, but it was turning into a disaster. humanity was showing the galaxy that they could not only survive but win. And as the tides turned, more alien soldiers began to lose faith in the cause. Victory, once inevitable, now seemed distant. The king, however, refused to acknowledge the truth. His arrogance blinded him to the reality of the situation. In his mind, no lesser species could defeat his empire. But on the front lines, the truth was undeniable: humanity was proving that they weren't just survivors. They were conquerors in their own right. The empire's grip was slipping, and no one knew how much longer it could hold. The final assault came swiftly, catching the alien empire off guard. Humanity had been building towards this moment, and now they were ready to strike at the heart of the empire. The alien king, still clinging to his delusions of superiority, watched as his homeworld's defenses fell, one after another. His advisors, once confident and smug, now scrambled for solutions, but it was too late. Humanity had breached the unthinkable. Human forces, using their newfound technology and battle-hardened tactics, punched through the alien fleet that guarded the homeworld. The alien ships, though powerful, were no match for the human precision strikes and advanced countermeasures. It wasn't a battle, it was a slaughter. The human ships moved with surgical precision, dismantling the Empire's last line of defense piece by piece. As the human forces landed on the alien capital, the streets were eerily silent. The once mighty Empire had never imagined war coming to their doorstep. The alien king, sitting in his palace, watched in disbelief as the broadcast reports streamed in. His fleet, gone. His generals, defeated. His empire, falling apart. Still, his pride refused to let him surrender. But humanity had no intention of asking for one. Elite human special forces stormed the palace. The king's guards, the last line of defense, were no match for the sheer force and precision of the human soldiers. Room by room, they cut through the palace, hunting for their prize. The king, desperate and cornered, tried to flee, but there was nowhere left to run. In a brutal and symbolic moment, the human soldiers dragged the alien king from his throne, pulling him through the very streets where he had once paraded his power. The citizens, once loyal to him, watched in silence, fear and shock etched across their faces. The king, once the embodiment of galactic dominance, was now reduced to a prisoner, humiliated and defeated by the very species he had tried to annihilate. The galaxy watched in stunned silence as the footage was broadcast far and wide. The message was clear: humanity would not bow, and those who sought to crush them would face the same fate as the king. The war was over, not with a negotiated peace, but with total, unrelenting victory. The king, once so proud, was paraded through the streets, a living testament to the downfall of his empire. Humanity had done the impossible. They had not only survived, they had dismantled the most powerful force in the galaxy, and they had done so with ruthless efficiency. The alien king's empire, which had once seemed invincible, now lay in ruins, its leader broken and its army scattered. For the first time in galactic history, the galaxy knew that humanity was a force that could not be stopped. With the alien king deposed and his empire in ruins, the galaxy began to feel the ripple effects of humanity's victory. Worlds once under the oppressive rule of the empire were now free. They had watched in awe as the humans dismantled a power thought to be unbreakable. Whispers spread across the stars: this was not just the end of a war but the beginning of a new era. The Galactic Council, once hesitant to interfere in the conflict, now realized the consequences of their inaction. They had allowed the Empire to grow unchecked, believing humanity to be too small, too fragile to make a difference. But now, they faced a species that had not only survived but had utterly dominated. Humanity's reputation shifted overnight, from a minor, unremarkable race to the most feared and respected power in the galaxy. But humanity wasn't interested in conquest. As the war ended, they didn't seek to build an empire of their own. Instead, they focused on rebuilding, on helping the worlds devastated by the conflict recover. The human fleet, now a symbol of both terror and hope, patrolled the galaxy not as conquerors but as protectors. They enforced peace, ensuring that no other tyrant would rise in the wake of the fallen empire. The alien remnants, scattered and broken, struggled to come to terms with their defeat. For those who had once mocked humanity, the lesson was clear: underestimate them at your peril. Human strength wasn't just in their weapons or their tactics, but in their resilience, their unshakable will to survive and thrive in the face of overwhelming odds. The alien king, now a prisoner, faced his final humiliation. Humanity did not execute him. Such a death would have been too quick, too easy. Instead, he was left to witness the new order he had tried so desperately to prevent. He was paraded before the Galactic Council, a symbol of the end of an era, forced to watch as the very galaxy he sought to rule turned its back on him. In the aftermath, humanity took its place among the stars, not as conquerors, but as equals, albeit ones with the unmistakable knowledge that they could never be taken lightly again. The other species of the galaxy, once skeptical of humanity's potential, now looked to them for leadership, for guidance. And humanity, always prepared for the next challenge, rose to the occasion. The war that began with arrogance and mockery ended with respect and fear. Humanity had proven that, though small and underestimated, they possessed the most important quality of all, an unyielding spirit. The galaxy had learned that humans were not to be trifled with, and the memory of the king, dragged through the streets by the very species he sought to destroy, would serve as a reminder for generations to come. The galaxy was forever changed. And humanity, forged in the fires of war, stood ready to face whatever came next.